All right, let's get into our last Halloween edition of Dudes on Dudes. Guy that we are going to talk about. You know what? I'm looking at this, and it's pretty gnarly. That every one of the scariest guys that we're going over is from the AFC fucking North. Another Kent State Golden Flash. Another man that scares the living shit out of you.
He sure does.
His name is Debo, but his birth name is James Harrison.
James Henry Harrison Jr.
Oh, Hank? I will not call him that to his face. He'll probably beat my face in. I've seen him doing that volleyball shit. What is up? Let's see what AI has to say.
All right, ladies and
AI
gentlemen.
for James Hank
AI was
Harrison
probably too scared
Jr.,
to write anything
the second.
about
Holy
Harrison.
smokes.
Oh, that's blank. AI was scared.
AI is fucking scared. I'm scared.
Did not want to get it wrong.
Start the clock.
Now.
James
Harrison was a tenacious and a hard-hitting linebacker.
Tenacious.
Thank you, Jules.
Gotcha.
Hey, I'm Harry. You know, I didn't read any books growing up, okay? You know, and a hard-hitting linebacker. Known for his relentless work ethic and physical style of play. Off the field, he was dedicated and resilient, overcoming numerous setbacks to achieve success. Harrison had a significant impact on the Pittsburgh Steelers, helping them win 2 Super Bowls and earning the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award in 2008.
Jesus.
Notably, he set a then Steelers single-season record with 16 sacks in 2008 and is the only undrafted player to win Defensive Player of the Year award. He was also a 5-time Pro Bowler and twice named the Steelers MVP.
He should have been a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, but Santonio Holmes with that catch, toe-tapping catch to end the game. They should give out like 2 MVPs award, a defensive MVP if deserved, and then an MVP award as well, or an MVP award. And if it was a defensive guy, then if someone played on the offensive side, you know, on the offensive side of the ball very well, they should also have the offensive MVP. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying by that?
Oh, Andy.
Yeah.
They could get a better sponsorship group out of the NFL too if they did that. You could have, you know, Chevy for, you know, the offense and Ford for the defense. We're not business guys. Debo.
Hey, Lloyd, you're smarter than I thought.
Harry, your hands are freezing. James Harrison, absolute scary motherfucker. Like, look at him. You look at his pictures. It's like 1 degree outside. He's got his shirt off and his baggy ass sweats doing a pregame warm up, looking like he wants to just, I fucking kill every single person on the other side of the team. Like, we played against him, and he's got a notion, and it's so fucking crazy that he didn't get drafted because he's about 6 feet tall, but he's also 6 feet wide. This guy is a fucking fridge. His arms are literally like 30 inches big. I remember he came and played with us in 17. It literally, when he would walk in the locker room, it felt like the scene in Friday when Debo would roll. Everyone would put their chains away. And he was like a nice guy, but he just had that scary
nice
aura.
Guy. Great guy.
Scary aura about him. We're like, no, hey, oh shit, what's up? No one wanted to joke with him because you didn't know if he was going to take it or if he could be joked with. But he was honestly a great teammate for that 1 year. And he's made so many incredible fucking plays in his career. Like, it's insane. Have you seen him do the shock put?
Nah, I never seen that.
I guess he's a huge fucking shock putter. Like, he's a I love him. I absolutely loved him. I remember when he played that game in 2008, I was at Kent State, the Super Bowl, where he had that big 100-yard run in the Super Bowl. And I was just so excited to see a guy like him, you know, dominating the NFL from where I came from. I mean, it's crazy. Was Prime's James Harrison faster than you?
Yes.
Was he?
Yes. I'm not going to say he wasn't. I had to think about that, and I was like, wait, if I am faster than him, I should not say I was faster than him. That's like me saying I'm stronger than him as well, which obviously I am not stronger than James Harrison. I don't think anyone is, but I'm going to talk a little football, a little technician on the football field here. I mean, in the blocking aspect of the game, and who you're going versus, what type of guy you're going versus, what type of player you're going versus, who you're going versus, because in the NFL, you scout the player you're going versus. You scout them. You see what type of player they are. You see how they react to, the type of blocks that they're receiving and all that good stuff. And what size he is, what height the defender is that you're going versus. You get in his chest, you throw your shoulder. There's so many different techniques depending on who you're going versus. And I love blocking a guy that's like 6'5", my height, who stands up. Because then I can get in his chest, drive him backwards. And a guy that doesn't have that mean look, that mean attitude, and a guy that's not going to get pissed off because I came flying off the ball and absolutely drilled him and drove him back 5 yards and embarrassed him. That was the last thing I was trying to do with James Harrison.
What were you trying to do with James?
First off, with James, I knew I couldn't get into his chest. The guy is like a bowling ball. Like, that 28-pound bowling ball that everyone wants to throw down the freaking lane and just try to knock down all the pins, and like you kind of like do it granny style, and it's so heavy you blow out your back. Well, those are the hardest guys to block in the NFL, especially at my size, 6'6". It's hard for me to get low. It's hard for me to move that type of guy because they have so much leverage.
Built-in pad level.
Yes, exactly. That's what he has. And with a guy like that and how scary and intimidating he was, and I seen it on film, you do not want to piss James Harrison off.
Why? What did you see on film?
Yes. What do you see on film? What do you mean? What do you see on film? I seen him take defenders, offensive linemen, toss them. I seen him absolutely level defenders and put them out of the game with a concussion.
Dude, he knocked out Josh Cribbs, one of his teammates from college. But literally knocked his ass out.
So therefore, when I'm blocking him, it's a guy that you just kind of want to get in his way. I'm not going to come off the ball and crush his skull. I'm not trying to do that because if I piss him off, if I hit him hard and I trigger him, man, I'm going to tell you, he's going to pick me up and throw me to the next play. So I never wanted to trigger him. I always just try to get in his way, with my shoulder, with my hands. So then when the running back came around and you try to make a play, just get in his way again, so he can't make the play. Could you feel his
strength?
I could feel his strength because then if I start going strength for strength, that's when I lose.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. That's when I lose the block versus a guy like that in leverage. So every time I just try to just kind of play patty cake, try to let him absorb me. So if I did fly off the ball, he would fly off the ball too. Then I would go backwards and he would have that separation.
And the guy would pass.
So I just try to stick on him like a sponge, and just always didn't let him out of my rear view mirror. Just always staying in front of him, never trying to piss him off, never trying to give him a cheap shot. That was the way I blocked James Harrison. And it was a whole different style when you go versus a player like him.
That's crazy. See, we're here talking about Rob used to block the biggest, baddest dude on the defensive line. That's fucking nuts. You don't see, it's rarely seen, a matchup with the tight end and the 9 technique fucking D end, or what, the outside linebacker that's playing down. Like that's usually not the point of attack a lot of times, is it? You watch that film?
Yeah, you always want to get the tackle on those guys, but when you have a tight end in that situation that's willing to do it, willing to get dirty,
to the net.
That's what expands your offense. That's what expands the run game. That's what expands the play action game as well. And I kind of use that to my advantage, and that's actually what helped me get open plenty of time on the play actions when the linebackers step up because they thought, I'm coming out to block. But James Harrison was a terrifying pocket pressure player.
Low.
He got so low.
His shoulder.
He would have that shoulder dip and he would just get right by the offensive tackle, even though the offensive tackle is twice his size, kind of like looks like twice his height, but he would get right underneath him and he was so strong, he would just rip right through his arm and then get to the quarterback. And he was quick enough to take kind of an outside angle.
Run the hump.
Run the hump and then bolt right to the quarterback.
He also would have a great changeup where he would just use his strength. He'd get right up in that chest of that guy who was about 8 inches taller than him and push his ass right back into the pocket and blow up the quarterback.
And that's the exact leverage I was talking about, and that's why I didn't go toe-to-toe with him right off the line, because he would get that leverage and he'd push me back. So I would just try to stay on him and not let him get that force to be able to push me back. So just being a smart player.
Have you seen his workout videos?
His workout videos are freaking ridiculous. He has like 845s on each side when he's freaking benching, like 500, like 55 pounds.
You see,
like, it's just ridiculous.
His conditioning, he gets like a 30-pound or a 40-pound medicine ball, and he plays volleyball with it where you have to catch it and throw it.
I have seen that.
That's hard. People don't realize that's hard. That's heavyweight, and he does it for a long round. Like, it's so fun to watch his workouts because he does like some world's strongest man shit all the time. Where like he'll have like a boulder he's pushing, or he's fucking pulling a goddamn car, or throwing fucking rocks that are like 900 pounds. Like he's just he's a cool dude, man. And the one thing about it, would you agree? Does his voice not match his body?
I think it does match his body.
It does? Because I don't think it's like a low, scary voice.
It's not as low as you expect.
Yeah, so I don't think it, like you would think with that guy, he's like, hey, how you doing?
You're expecting that low.
No.
It's not high though.
No, it's not high.
It's kind of like
James, I'm not saying you have a high voice.
Which is kind of good, because imagine if it was that low, it would be like even scarier.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember he gave, I got one of his shirts. Remember he had the Debo shirt in the locker room? I still have the Debo shirt somewhere here.
He's like, he can lift like whatever, 600 pounds, bench, squat, deadlift. But what I love about him is that he always posts his resume of, recovering.
Yeah.
Of how he recovers off of those lifts, how he was recovering in the NFL. And he would put like 350 acupuncture needles in his
every
body,
day.
like every other day. And he posts about it like, you got to be a freak. You got to be intense in order to get 350 needles poked inside of your muscle tissue and just take it like an absolute champ. Like, that just shows. Like he's dedicated. Like he's doing whatever it takes to be at that level that he needs to be at.
Who is the Mount Rushmore of strongest guys we played with, you think?
I would say Sebastian Vollmer. Left tackle. Was Vince Wilfork. He was super strong. He didn't really have to even like work out that much. He would just walk in the weight room and toss up like 500 pounds in the bench.
Yeah.
Marcus Cannon.
Cannon was the strongest guy I ever saw.
In the squatting world. Oh my gosh.
I remember Cannon would be squatting and there'd be 15 fucking 45. And the thing would be bouncing. I swear, I think he had like 12 45s on each side. Remember that? And
the bar would be bending.
It'd be bouncing like it was a fucking Q-tip with fucking rocks on it. Mm-hmm. Like, it was gnarly.
That was a good imitation right there.
And then Brandon Bolden for pound.
Bolden didn't even work out. He was like, yo.
But pound for pound when we do all those like.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't saying like that was a bad thing to work out. He didn't need to work out. And then I'm like, dude, how are you so strong and ripped? He's like, yo, I carry my kids around. And I'm like, dang, I got to start having kids. And I still haven't started. And this is 8 years later. I would still be playing if I had 10 kids.
You would always do those. Remember, we'd always have to do those explosion recordings for some certain things, like the Kaisers. And he would always be the absolute, he'd blow people out by 1,000 points because he was just so explosive strong. I'd say that's probably our Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
His last Kent State game, you know who he sacked 5 times? Miami of Ohio.
Oh, Big Ben.
His fucking teammate.
Ben Roethlisberger.
No one's off limits. No one is off limits. We saw what he did to Josh Cribbs when he was in a Browns uniform. We saw what he did to Ben Roethlisberger when he was in a Miami of Ohio uniform. Like, he is fucking Freddy Krueger, bro. This is the perfect guy to have on the goddamn Halloween episode.
We're talking about his, defensive skill set and all that. But what about every time he had an interception? He always almost like brought that ball back to the house. Obviously, with one of the biggest Super Bowl plays in history, the 100-yard return versus Arizona Cardinals. And if they scored right on that drive, they were saying the game was going to be over going into half because the Cardinals had that big of an advantage and that much momentum going in. But he saved the Steelers that game with that interception to the house. It looked like he was about to be tackled 8 different times, and he just kept going and kept going and kept going. He's kind of like a fullback mixed with a running back when he's running the ball.
It's like Mike Allstott.
Yes, exactly like him. He's Mike Allstott of the defensive side of the ball.
Did you hear that he's going to be fighting Ocho Cinco?
He will be fighting Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco,
versus James Harrison. What are you thinking, Ocho Cinco? What the
Ocho
fudge are you thinking?
I'll tell you right now, Ocho Cinco's got some balls.
He does have some balls.
Didn't he raced a horse. He's fought a couple times.
And he's lost all the fights, though.
Has he?
Yeah, he lost a fight. He fought one time.
There's something to be said about a man that loses a fight and keeps coming back.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps coming back.
Ocho Cinco don't back down.
He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But what's he thinking? What is he thinking?
I don't. It's UFC, right? It's
MMA style.
MMA style.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you would have to fight James Harrison is if you go box him. If he couldn't bring you down.
Ocho Cinco is 6'1", 190 pounds about, I would say.
He's probably like, yeah.
He lost to Brian Maxwell in a boxing match.
Did he?
Yeah. It wasn't
I'm
that
not
pretty.
saying he probably beat the shit out of me, but I'm not fucking James Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
James Harrison is a scary man.
Should we go?
We should go.
I got a what if scenario. Do you think we can beat James Harrison if we tag team versus him?
You mean if we tag team James Harrison?
No, like you and I versus James Harrison.
I don't, honestly, I really don't know. And I consider myself a tough guy. And I consider you a large, tough human as well.
We would have to game plan.
You have to game plan because the Steelers do what they do.
They do what they do.
They do what they do.
They do.
They do it very well, but they do what they do.
They do what they do, and they don't adjust.
They don't adjust.
They do what they do, and they do.
Well, we'd have to game plan James Harrison for that fight. Time.
All right.
But what kind of dude is James Harrison? Okay, I have two that I think he is. I don't think he's a dude's dude. I played with him, and he was kind of a dude's dude, but I was too scared of him the whole time for him to think that he was a dude's dude. The freak. He's either a freak or dog to me. I think it's a crazy thing that if he's a freak, that he was an undrafted freak. That's probably a stat that we'll never say again. And that's freaky.
I mean, he is a freak for sure. I would not disagree with a freak. He has dog in him. There's no doubt about that. He's a relentless dog. He's a dog he's a pit bull. He's just never going to stop. It's the pit bull that's untrained. That has the locked jaw and just never letting go until that jaw finally gets tired after like 10
hours. You got to put him down. I think you got to
put him down basically.
You got to kill him to let him go.
But he's also a freak with that interception and the stride. His stride when he's running is ridiculous. I mean, it's freaky to have a stride like that at that size with that much mass and to be able to run like that. That's freaky. That's freaky tangibles.
Dude, no one, they say he's 6 foot. That dude's 5'11". He may be 5'10". He about my height. And he's 260. And he runs just as fast as me. Okay? If you want to call that not a freak, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, you are crazy then. He's a freak.
Freak.
He's a freak. James Harrison, freak.
Stamp it.